As the smoke was detected before the car caught up in flames, someone informed the cops and an ambulance. Usually, it's not uncommon to detect smoke in the woods, and most of the time, it is not something to worry about. But there have been a few instances where people needed rescuing as they lost their way in the woods when their trekking experience went wrong. They lit fire to catch the attention of the officials for help. So whenever the smoke is detected, the cops and the EMTs will be informed together. In some rare cases, the fire department will be intervened. So by the time Leo carried Ida to the dirt road, he heard the sounds of sirens before he saw the vehicles. He sagged with relief. After 3 hours, both Leo and Ida were admitted to the hospital and were treated by a doctor. Leo was diagnosed with 1 broken rib. Ida had a head injury, and she inhaled too much smoke. Because of the smoke, oxygen levels in her body were reduced, and she fainted. She has yet to regain her conscience and is placed under a temporary oxygen mask. President Hamilton, how are you feeling now? Mark is worried sick for his boss and Ida. Leo is not fine. He even refused pain meds, much to the shock of the doctors who treated him. His ribs were bandaged and his palms were bleeding because he tried to pull that seatbelt bandaged as well. He already washed and is dressed as well. Mark and Ida are standing in the room where Ida is being treated. She is lying in the middle of the bed looking pale. An IV tube is injected into the back of her palm. I am fine, Mark. We are going back. Inform our pilot to get our plane ready to take off. The moment Ida gains conscience, we will leave this place, he instructed Mark, who left immediately to do as he was told. Leo is in a lot of pain, but the pain meds made him feel dizzy, so he refused to take them. Moreover, he is used to this kind of pain. A few broken ribs are nothing to fuss about. He is more worried about Ida than himself. He has a deep frown etched on his face. The car was fine the night before. Then how did the brakes fail overnight? Something is not adding up here, he thought with suspicion. He remembered that Charles and Richard had come last night. Is it Richard? Is he trying to kill Ida? Because he is unnerved to admit that she is his illegitimate daughter? Leo started feeling suspicious about Richard and Charles. As if they both were summoned, both of them walked inside the room looking genuinely worried and alarmed about the accident. Mr. Hamilton? I heard about the accident. How are you feeling now? How is Ida? Charles asked worriedly, while Richard rushed directly towards his daughter. He leaned in, and just before he could touch Ida's cheek, Leo stopped him. Don't touch her, Leo fumed. Both Richard and Charles were taken aback by those words. They jumped with fright. They looked at each other with guilt. I know you must be still angry about last night. Even if I acknowledge her or not, she is still my daughter. No father could look at his daughter in this situation. Richard defended himself. Leo glared at the older man. Daughter? Is that why you tried to kill her? He snapped with anger. Richard is shocked by the accusation. He looked at Charles with puzzlement. What? Kill her? I didn't do anything. Why will I kill my own daughter? He asked with shock. His shock is genuine, and Leo notices it too. Mr. Hamilton, he used to love Ida's mother a lot. In fact, he still carries Sarah's picture in his wallet. He would never do anything to hurt his daughter, who is a gift from his first and only love. Charles defended Richard. Leo is confused now. If not Richard, then who? Someone intentionally damaged the car brakes. Who is it? Is it someone from my past? He wondered. The car brakes were compromised. That's why we got into an accident. That area is rocky, and an accident in that kind of place would mean the death of the people involved in the accident. As you both were the only 2 people who were there with us last night, I suspected you, Leo revealed. Both Charles and Richard are shocked to find this. Outside the hospital, the same man who compromised that brakes is seen talking on a phone with someone. Ma'am, she survived. Her companion saved her. Mr. Wilson is here to see her, he explained the situation. As he already guessed, his employer is not pleased. What? What do you mean by her companion saved her? What were you doing when he was saving her? You could have killed her after the accident. You could have made it look like she died in that accident. You are the killer here. Do I need to tell all of that to you? She snapped at the man. The man frowned. He would have killed Ida, but his employer asked him to make it look like an accident, so he didn't interfere. Moreover, he thought Ida was dead when she didn't move for a long time. but her companion saved her in the nick of the moment. "Sorry for disappointing you, man. I will kill her now. She is still unconscious. I will choke her with a pillow," he assured his employer. His employer hummed. "Good, get it done. I want to get rid of it before this blows out of control," she said before disconnecting the call. The man looked at his blank screen with a frown and then at the hospital building. Carefully, he observed the employees there, and his gaze zeroed in on a male nurse. "His uniform will fit me perfectly. I can enter inside the hospital easily using his ID," he decided. In the hospital, Ida slowly came to her senses. She opened her eyes and looked around the room with a frown. She is alone in the room, and an IV is attached to her hand. All she remembered was the accident and the pain that followed after. She also remembered how her boss carried her in his arms. She turned red when she remembered that part. He is a sweet and caring man. Slowly, she sat up and leaned back a little onto the pillow. That's when the door opened from outside and her boss strode inside the room, oozing authority. It looked like he was on a call with someone, because he pulled his mobile from his ear when he entered inside. The moment his gaze landed on her, his eyes softened and he rushed to her side. "Ida, how are you feeling now?" he asked worriedly. He tucked her hair behind her ear and cupped her face with his palms. "I am fine, President Hamilton. How are you feeling?" she asked softly. Their proximity looks too intimate. She is worried that if someone walks in on them at that moment, they might get the wrong idea. But on the contrary, he is not worried about anything. He understood that he liked her a little more than he should, and he didn't have any problem showing it to her. He already expressed his desire for her. But he is sure it doesn't end there. He likes Ida as a person. "President Hamilton, but you used my given name this morning." He teased her softly. He ignored her question as he didn't want to lie. He leaned closer and touched his forehead to hers. Her face turned as red as a tomato. She does remember calling him Leo. She was in pain and his name just slipped from her mouth. She also remembers how she spoke rudely to him and he threatened her with a spanking. I am sorry," she whispered. "He is too close and she is too worried about getting caught. If they get caught, her career would be ruined. She worked too hard for that." He smirked and placed a feather-light kiss on her cute button nose. "Well, I am not. You are to call me Leo when we are alone," he instructed her, much to her shock. Her rational thinking started to get fogged up when he started planting kisses all over her face. Her cheeks, eyes, chin, and then he kissed her lips. First, it was just a peck. Then he deepened the kiss and pushed his tongue inside her mouth and kissed her slowly, as if savoring her taste. His arms snaked around her waist, and he gently pulled her into his arms. His hold is gentle yet possessive. She melted in his arms and forgot everything that she was worried about. He pulled back, allowing her to breathe, but he didn't let her go. Instead, he hugged her. "Will you be okay for us to travel back, baby doll?" he asked her softly. Ida is ready to leave and rest for 2 days after the accident, but the work for which they came here in the first place is not done yet. "But the meeting with the Watson group is not rescheduled yet," she reminded him, and that made him angry. He pulled back and stood up to his full height. "It's done. We agreed upon a temporary contract with Watson Group," he told her the truth. When Charles and Richard came to visit Ida, Charles all but begged Leo to reconsider his decision about the contract again. Leo is ready to refuse. "Please, I know it was wrong of us to sneak in like we did, but that's personal and this is business. Please. Give me a chance. Your father was my friend too. Matthew, your father, me, and Richard were good friends back in high school. Please consider my offer for your father's sake," Charles requested. Upon hearing that, Leo couldn't refuse, because everything he is doing now is for his father. He left his dream and buried that part of him for his father. "All right, this will only be a temporary contract. I can terminate whenever I want to. If that's okay with you, I will tell my assistant to mail you the revised contract, and stay away from Ida," he agreed. Coming back to the present, he looked at Ida, who was pleased to hear the news. But he is not, but he agreed with his father. "All right, I will tell a nurse to send you some clothes. She will help to change. You can take a few days off after going back home. I will be back." With that said, he left. The killer, who was in the uniform of a nurse, entered Ida's room as soon as Leo left. He saw that Ida was awake. "Miss Wilson, how are feeling?" he inquired while pretending to adjust the IV and then checked her pulse. "I am feeling better," Ida replied. Just when the killer touched the pillow to kill her by suffocating her, another nurse entered. She was carrying Ida's clothes with her. "What are you doing here?" she asked the killer, who was wearing a mask. The killer pretended to adjust the pillow. "I was checking on Miss Wilson," he lied. The nurse frowned. "Well, I already did. She is discharged. You are needed in the emergency ward. Now get going," she told him. Unable to do anything, he left with anger. Back in the Hamilton mansion, Grace found out about the accident. "What? My Leo has got into an accident? How is he? When is he coming back?" Grace demanded Mike. "Leo is a very rich and powerful man. He was listed as one of the richest men in the country. The fact that he was elected as the most eligible bachelor for 3 years straight by the men's magazine skyrocketed his fame. The news of Leo Hamilton became breaking news. Every media channel is telecasting the same thing. That's how Grace found out about his accident. Leo intentionally didn't tell his mother about his accident. He doesn't want her to worry about him. "Mrs. Hamilton, we are on our way to the Hamilton mansion now. Don't worry, our boss is not hurt. He is safe," Mike assured Grace. They just dropped Ida near her apartment. Ida was so tired and feeling weak after everything that happened that day. She found out that her father is alive, but he doesn't want her. Then that terrible accident where she thought she would die. But, thanks to her boss, he saved her. And now she is back home. Her boss offered to stay with her when Mike was not listening, but she refused. If she continues this with her boss, things will surely blow up in her face one day, which she doesn't want. She collapsed on her couch and immediately regretted that move. Her head started hurting again, which made her wince. She swallowed the pain pills the doctor gave her and sighed with relief. She is ready to sleep. Buzz. She heard the buzzing of her doorbell. She sighed heavily. It must be the boss or Mike. What did they forget now? She murmured before opening the door. But she is shocked to see Kevin standing outside the door. Immediately, she tried to close the door on his face, but he pushed the door open with force. "What do you want, Kevin?" "Get out of here," she demanded with anger. She is standing near the entrance while holding her door open. She refused to close the door when he was still inside. Kevin looked at her with worry. He looked at her bandaged head with a frown. "Ida, I heard you got into an accident. I came to check on you. How are you feeling now?" he asked with concern. She glared at him. "Oh, so you came to check if I am alive or not? Don't worry, I will not disturb your wedding with Claire. You can happily marry her. At least, try not to betray her like you did to me. If we are done here, I want you to leave now," she snapped. She doesn't know what she saw in him at all. Looking at him now, she is not feeling the same kind of feelings for him anymore. The only emotion that is running in her veins is anger. He played with 2 women at the same time. He might say that Claire seduced him, but he didn't sleep with her out of pity. He did it because he wanted to. He lost all the respect. Kevin is disappointed. He ruined his relationship with her, and now he is regretting it. But now he has come here to rectify that mistake. "Ida, please don't talk like that. I know I made a mistake, but that doesn't mean I don't love you anymore. I still love you as much as I used to love you before. Claire was a mistake. Now that she is no longer carrying my baby, we can get married. Please forgive me. Give me one more chance. I know you still love me. I know how much you are hurting. Let's forget everything and start fresh," he suggested shamelessly, much to her shock. She is so shocked that it took her a few seconds to react. She never saw this vicious side of Kevin. He always pretended to be sweet and caring. But what he said now is showing his true colors, and she didn't like it at all. When she is gaping at him with shock, he misunderstands her silence as her acceptance. He beamed happily and rushed to hug her. But before he could touch her, she slapped him as hard as she could. Just his close proximity is giving her skin an itchy feeling. Now Kevin's turn to be shocked. In the 2 years of their relationship, he never saw this violent side of her. She was always sweet, and even when he was pestering her to become his girlfriend, she used to get annoyed but never reacted this way. He is a man, and getting slapped by a woman is not acceptable, no matter how much he likes the said woman. "How dare you? You still remember that I am the Kevin Hamilton, right?" I can destroy you within seconds. If you think that working for my uncle means that you can treat me like this, then you are wrong. You will pay for this. I will make your life a miserable mess. First, you will lose your job by morning, and then this apartment. I will drag you onto the streets and make you sit with the homeless people out there. Then let's see how you would crawl back to me and beg me to take you back. He threatened her, and roughly grabbed her by her neck and started choking her with anger. Ida tried to push him away from her, but he was strong and she just recovered from an accident. Her sore throat started to ache and she struggled to breathe. She pinched, pulled, and even scratched his palm to get rid of him, but he didn't loosen his hold around her throat. Darkness started to spread near the corner of her eyes and she was on the verge of losing consciousness. Just then, Kevin let her go abruptly and she heard a loud punch followed by a groan. She sagged onto the ground and started to take huge gulps of breath, greedy. "What the fuck are you doing here, Kevin? Are you trying to choke her to death?" She heard Leo Hamilton's furious voice. Her tensed body relaxed. For some reason, she now trusts him to protect her. She can go anywhere with him blindly and still believe that he will never harm her. Slowly, her vision cleared up. And when it did, she found her boss holding Kevin by his throat, and the latter's cheek was already swollen, and he was bleeding from his cut lip. Kevin looked utterly scared. She is satisfied to find him like this. He deserved this. "What the fuck are you doing here, Kevin? Are you trying to choke her to death?" Leo is fuming with anger. After he dropped Ida near her apartment, he didn't want to leave her alone, especially after their accident. But he couldn't say anything because Mike was with them. He doesn't want to tarnish her reputation because he is getting addicted to her, so he kept quiet, but he slipped her mobile into his pocket before she left. He needed a reason to come back, and her mobile would serve the purpose. But he was not expecting to find her pushed into a wall and being manhandled by his asshole nephew. Kevin is pale and is all but shaking with fear. He never thought that his uncle would come here at this time of the day. He had to think fast before his uncle killed him. That's when a vile plan came to his mind. "You, Uncle, I didn't do anything. It's her. She called me. She was my ex. I used to date her before I started seeing Claire. She called me and cried saying that she met with an accident and she was in very bad shape. I used to truly love her before she decided to cheat on me, Uncle. So I came to see her out of the goodness of my heart. But as soon as I entered her apartment, she came to me and tried to kiss me. When I refused and pushed her away, she revealed that she was the one who caused Claire's miscarriage because she was jealous. I was so angry that I couldn't control myself. She killed my child, Uncle. She is a witch," he lied through his teeth. Ida has yet to realize that her mobile is with Leo, so she looked at Leo with a pleading gaze. She is shocked to hear Kevin's lies. Conveniently, he twisted the situation to his side. "No, he is lying," she cried as the feeling of hopelessness started to settle down. She doesn't know how Kevin found out about the accident, but he did. The way he twisted the situation against her is so convincing. She is certain that anyone would believe Kevin, but she is hoping that her boss will see past Kevin's lies. So far, he is the only person who saved her again and again. "President Hamilton, please believe me. I didn't do anything. He is lying." She desperately wants him to believe her. She is still sitting on the floor where she sagged down when Kevin tried to choke her. Slowly, Leo walked towards her and helped her up from the ground by holding her shoulders. He looked at her neck, which was now sporting finger marks of Kevin. He is so furious that he wants to kill his nephew for what he did. Kevin, who is also on the floor, is shocked to see this. The gentleness of his uncle when he is holding Ida is shocking. "Are you all right?" Leo asked Ida while temporarily ignoring Kevin. Ida has tears in her eyes. She wants him to believe her. She nodded her head jerkily. "I didn't call him. I don't know how he found out about the accident. I did not cause Claire's miscarriage." She tried to explain again, but he placed his finger on her lips to silence her. "How many times do I have to tell you? You never have to explain yourself to me. I know you are not at fault here. I believe you," he assured her. His assurance made her so relieved that she threw her arms around his neck and hugged him tightly. He hugged her back. Leo knows his cousin is watching, and he wants to show Kevin that Ida is off limits, and she belongs to him. When he saw her getting choked, his heart started pounding with fear. This is the same feeling that he got when she was stuck in that car, feeling like he couldn't breathe, and it's him who is stuck in her place. Belatedly, he realized that he was in love with Ida Wilson. He is the head of the Hamilton Group, and she is an orphan. But he already experienced it. He cannot live without her. She is his. Unlike Claire, she is good at heart, and his mom loves Ida. It's all he needed to make her his wife. His arms tightened around her with that realization. He understood that it's not just her body that he needs. He needs her as a whole. Kevin is gaping at them with shock. His fist tightened with jealousy. Just now she slapped him when he was about to hug her. But she willingly hugged his uncle. In the last 2 years, she never allowed him to touch her like a lover. A small peck on the cheek and side hugs were the most she allowed him to do. Anything more from his side used to make her uncomfortable, and she used to make excuses. But now she looks more than comfortable in his uncle's arms, and it is not sitting well with him. Ida is feeling safe with Leo. He was the only person in her life who came unexpectedly and never failed to be there for her whenever she needed help. She met him with an unexpected consequence, and he had every possibility to misunderstand her and think badly about her character. But he is not superficial and never judged because of their first encounter. Instead, he tried to find out the truth and only supported her since then. Like he always says, she never had to explain anything to him and never had to prove herself in front of him. He always trusted her, and he made a special place in her heart with his selfless actions. She melted in his arms like butter. "Uncle, she is my girlfriend." Kevin stood up to his feet and protested. He couldn't hold back his jealousy anymore. The more he is watching Leo and Ida together, the angrier he is becoming. Leo gritted his teeth and only turned his head to look at Kevin through his peripheral vision. Ida became stiff in his arms as soon as she heard Kevin's statement. "Ida is not your girlfriend. Claire is. Ida is off limits to you and every other male in this world but me," Leo declared, shocking both Kevin and Ida. "Ida is off limits to you and every other male in this world but me." Kevin was not just shocked, but he felt like the ground underneath his feet started shaking violently. "What?" he gasped, confused if what he heard was right. He could have easily intimidated and controlled Ida if she was alone. He could have at least manipulated her like he did once. But now she is not alone. She has Leo Hamilton protecting her as a shield. This changed everything. Now she is truly off limits if his uncle has his eyes on her. Ida pulled back from Leo, utterly speechless after his declaration. He let her. He knows she needs time to let his words sink into her mind. Slowly, Leo turned to face Kevin. "I said, she is off limits. If you touch her again, I will kill you with my bare hands. Explain to me why you came here in the first place. Why are you trying to hurt her?" he demanded in a low but cold tone. His voice is low, but it's sharp. Kevin felt as if his uncle was slicing him with his words. He took a step back with fear. "I already explained to you, Uncle. She called me here. She is like that. Cheap and dates multiple men at once." Before Kevin could finish his sentence, Leo lifted him into the air by holding him by his throat. "Insult her again, and I will kill you," he growled. Ida gasped. She had never seen this side of Leo before. He was always a gentleman in front of her and would deal with his business opponents with ruthlessness. But Leo standing in front of her is so possessive and scary. He is only wearing his dress shirt and she can see his biceps bulging through his shirt. "Let him go. He will die," she begged Leo when she saw Kevin's face turning blue. Leo became stiff. He threw Kevin away as he weighs nothing. Kevin fell a few feet away with a loud thud and groaned with pain. Leo did not like Ida begging for Kevin. Not just Kevin, he wouldn't like her begging for anyone. "Are you worried about him, baby doll?" he asked in a very dangerous edge to his tone. A shiver of something close to pleasure ran down her spine looking at the possessiveness in his tone. She is confused by her reaction but ignores it for the time being. "I am not worried about him. I am worried about you. What would happen after you kill him? How are you planning to explain this to Grace and the world? I know you would never tarnish your family name, but this would ruin your reputation, which is also the Hamilton reputation." She spoke the truth. She is least bothered about Kevin and more worried about Leo. He seems to like her reply. He relaxed a little. He glared at Kevin, who was still groaning and coughing on the floor. I know that she didn't call you, because I had her mobile in my pocket all this time, and I know she is your ex, which is not important at all. What is important is you are out of her life for good now. You are to marry Claire and never look or speak about Ida in the wrong way again. And about Claire's miscarriage, I know you caused it. I have evidence to prove it. The only reason I am leaving you alive today is because you are my nephew. If you touch her again, I will kill you. Stay away from her. Because she is mine, Leo declared. After that, he pulled Kevin up by his collar and threw him out of the house as if he were a rag doll. He locked the door soon after. All this while, Ida was watching him with confusion, shock, and a hint of trepidation. This is not the man whom her mentor Haley worked for. He was a workaholic and would never risk his family name. But the man she is just introduced to is completely different. She is still reeling in shock. Before her shock could wear off, she was pulled into a hug and kissed by a man who used to be her boss. Now she doesn't know what they are anymore. Leo kissed her possessively. She is still frozen in place, and he doesn't have any problem showing her how much she means to him. Soon she relaxed in his arms and kissed him back. She always does. She cannot resist him, just like he couldn't resist her. He pulled back and touched her neck. His anger towards Kevin intensified. You go and change. I will apply the cream to your neck. You will feel better, he instructed her. But she didn't move. Instead, she looked at him with mixed emotions. What you just told Kevin, what do you mean by that? You want to sleep with me, and I am yours until you no longer want me. Is that it? She asked, trying to understand what was running on his mind. He smirked at her question. I know you understood what I meant, but still, let me explain it to you. Yes, I want your body. But now I want more, he explained and leaned closer to her. She took a step back, and he took one forward until she was standing against a wall and could not go anywhere. He trapped her between his arms and kissed her bruised neck gently. More? What more do I have? She whispered. Her mind is spinning by his declaration. She is not understanding if she is unlucky enough to stumble upon Leo or not. He smiled against her neck before replying, I want you as a whole, your mind, body, and soul. I love you, baby doll. You are mine. No one can change that. Not even you, he whispered. She is stunned by his declaration. Ida is lying on her bed while watching Leo, whose eyes are closed. But she is sure he is not sleeping. They are sleeping on the same bed for the second time, but he made sure not to make her feel uncomfortable. After his love declaration, he insisted that he would stay the night with her. After the scary episode with Kevin, Ida is glad for his company, but she didn't let it show, because she doesn't want him to give the wrong ideas. He is a great guy, but she is not ready to date anyone, let alone a man like him. They cannot happen. He is her boss to begin with, and if this news comes out, it would effectively ruin her career. And the second and the most important thing is the difference in their stature. He is super rich while she is struggling with her student loans. They simply cannot happen. And based on her sour experience with Kevin, if Leo loses his interest in her after a few years, she might never recover from it. Kevin never had the same kind of effect that Leo held on her. A single touch from him and she is putty in his hands. It's too easy to fall for him and impossible to recover from a breakup. It is in her best interest to stay away from this man from every direction, she thought. You can stare at me tomorrow. Now sleep, he mumbled. She knows she cannot sleep. So many things are running through her mind now. They will not allow her to sleep. She needs answers that only he can give her. Why me? She whispered. She knows he can hear her. Her bed is not that big, and it is just enough for 2 people. He was quiet for a moment before he replied. She thought he might not answer her. Why not you? He replied with a question of his own, which made her dissatisfied. You know what I mean. I am just an ordinary girl who grew up in foster homes. You can get anyone you want. Then why only me? Why don't you leave me and choose someone else? She asked him with a hint of frustration. She is not a daydreamer, and she doesn't believe that fairy tales will come true in her life. She doesn't want to get tangled up with him. He took a deep breath, opened his eyes, and met her troubled gaze. My feelings for you did not start now. They began 2 years ago when you decided to save my mother. I always used to share a close bond with her, rather than my father and brother. They were always busy with work, and she was the only person who was there in every step of my life. She means the whole world to me. She likes you so much, and she used to tell me how beautiful you look and how pure your heart is. Deep down, I developed a soft spot for you. I even bought a villa to gift you for saving my mother. But I couldn't find you for 1 year. When I finally found you, I saw Kevin introducing you as his girlfriend. My heart felt heavy that day. But I ignored it. I know Haley is training you to be my assistant. I allowed her so that I could be close to you. And then you were sent to my room, and we had that wonderful night together. It was dark, and I couldn't see your face that night. But when I found out who you were the next day, I was shocked. Things did not add up. But not even for a second I regretted our night together. I was even more pleased to realize that I am your first. Then I started spending time with you, and unknowingly, I started liking you more. When my clients were misbehaving with you, I should have told Mike to defuse the situation, but I couldn't hold back my anger when they were touching you. When you were stuck in that car, I should have run away the moment the fire started. Because if something happens to me, Kevin is not fit to run the company and the entire Hamilton empire will go down. So many people will lose their jobs. But I did not think about any of that. Saving you was the only thing that mattered, even at the cost of my own life. Unknowingly, I started loving you, Ida. I only realized my feelings today after I saw Kevin choking you. It is only you I love, because there is only one Ida Wilson in this world, and I happen to love that girl, he confessed honestly, taking her breath away. In the same city, the killer who was hired to kill Ida is standing outside her apartment building. He is sitting on the footpath acting like a homeless man. His main goal is to kill Ida. He just sat there, so he didn't know that Leo was inside Ida's apartment. He is under the impression that she is all alone there. Just then, his mobile started vibrating inside his pant pocket. He looked around the empty street before answering the call. "Ma'am, I am outside her building. I will finish the task tonight. She must be sleeping inside. As soon as I make sure that her neighbors are asleep, I will make my move and kill her," he assured his boss. But the woman from the other end hissed with anger. "Do you know who is that man who saved Ida this morning?" she asked the killer. The killer man frowned. He had little to no time to inquire about that man. He was busy following after Ida and searching for opportunities to kill her. He did not think about that man at all. "No, ma'am, I don't know. I can inquire about that man if you want me to," he offered. That woman snorted sarcastically. "Idiot, you are good for nothing. That man is none other than Leo Hamilton. He is very rich and powerful beyond our control. I don't know why he is protecting her, but Ida is under his protection. Don't do anything in haste. If Leo Hamilton is involved, killing Ida will not be easy. Just wait for my instructions. I will find out another way to kill her," she instructed. The killer is now thoroughly scared. There will not be many people in the world who might not have heard about Leo Hamilton. He is an enigma on his own. But a rare few people with the mafia connections know about his other life, and the killer is among the few who happen to know the past of Leo Hamilton. Black Star. The famous Leo Hamilton was known as the Black Star. Everyone is still terrified of that name. What? He is Leo Hamilton? But Black Star only preferred black clothes and always used to cover the lower half of his face, he thought with fear. No one has seen who Black Star is, but when that man punches, it feels like stars are whirling around our heads. Soon the opponent would black out, hence the name Black Star. Very few people know that Black Star comes from a rich family. The killer used to work for the man who used to run the underworld fighting rings. That is how this killer knows who Black Star is, but he doesn't know what he looks like. The killer's blood ran cold and he started shivering with fear. "It's impossible to kill that girl. It's a death wish to even try. I don't want to try again. I am abandoning this job," he decided, and ran away from there. On the other hand, Kevin is not happy. He is pacing the length of his mother's room with angry long strides. "How is this even possible? Uncle Leo, you told me that he is searching for the girl who saved Grandma Grace because Grandma loves her. And you even predicted that he might even marry that girl. But why did he suddenly decide to abandon her now? And when did he start obsessing over Ida?" he asked with anger and frustration. Clarence is not as upset as her son, though. Her mind is already formulating a plan. Kevin is not as smart as his mother, and his brain doesn't work as sharply. So he is only seeing things that are happening in front of him and not beyond. Kevin, relax, son. We can use this to our advantage, she tried to pacify her fuming son. Kevin is not ready to listen to her. The image of Ida hugging Leo is permanently etched in his mind, and it refuses to leave. Use this to our advantage? Mom, are you crazy? I am telling you that Uncle Leo is having an affair with my Ida, and you are talking about something else? Are you even listening to me? He asked with annoyance and anger. Clarence shook her head and smacked him behind his head. Ouch! What the hell, Mom? He cried out with pain. Clarence glared at him. Ida, she's all you can think about. If you had thought about growing in your career instead and taking over Hamilton companies, then you would have been the president of the Hamilton Group by now. But no, you don't want to work in your life, but you want a lavish lifestyle. Will anyone respect you as much as they respect Leo? He is just a few years older than you, but look at him and learn something. If Ida fell for Leo, then it's because he is successful and rich. Apart from the Hamilton fortune, he earned double that amount on his own. Of course, she would prefer him over you, she fumed. Kevin became quiet. The jealousy in his heart is still burning like a furnace. He wants Ida. He wants everything that his uncle Leo has. The fact that Ida chose Leo over him is like a blow to his ego. Kevin tried to impress her for 2 years, and his uncle snatched her away in 2 minutes. What do you want me to do, Mom? I want Ida. Make it happen, he demanded. Clarence wanted to smack Kevin again, but she refrained from doing it. If I can use Ida to motivate Kevin into going to work, then why not? She thought. If you want Ida, then start going to work tomorrow. You learn the basics, and you will also get a chance to stay close to Ida. You can easily woo her and win her over. When the time is right, we can use Ida as a weapon and take the Hamilton Group under our control, she advised him. Kevin liked this idea very much, so he immediately perked up. Ida, now let's see how you can avoid me. You have to acknowledge your feelings for me one day. I mean, we were together for 2 years, and you must have felt something about me in these 2 years. You have to crawl back to me eventually. Uncle Leo will lose for the first time, and I am going to parade you in front of him. And I am going to love the defeated look on his face. He said that you are his, but not for long. Kevin thought with glee. The next morning, Ida is working while her boss is busy with back-to-back meetings. He insisted that she should take a rest and skip work today. But she was feeling much better than the previous day, and they had too much work to do. She knows that Mark cannot handle everything alone. It's literally too much to do. Even though she might never accept the other reason, that is her boss. Leo's confession the previous night was heart-touching. She was not expecting him to be so honest. Why me? She asked him. Because there is only one Ida Wilson in this world, and I happen to love her. His reply made her feel warm and fuzzy inside. For the first time, she experienced flutters in her stomach. The kind of flutters that she often read in books. Ida, are the copies ready? President Hamilton just finished with his meeting. The next meeting will start in another half an hour. I have to set the meeting hall too for this next meeting, Mark said hurriedly. Ida smiled and handed over the copies to Mark. Here you go. I made copies of the other reports which we need for the other meetings. I arranged them on your table. You can find them everything there, she told him. Mark grinned with all teeth. He playfully wrapped his hand around her shoulder and pinched her cheek. She giggled with mirth. She knows Mark is harmless and he is just teasing her. You are a lifesaver, Ida, he flirted with her. That's when Leo walked in on them. They both were standing closely near their desks outside his cabin. He bypassed them and walked inside, but Ida saw how his eyes turned dark with anger. Now that she started noticing him keenly, she caught the slight change in his body language. Immediately, she pushed Mark away. Mark looked at her comically. Mark, just like she guessed, Leo's angry voice rang from inside his cabin. Mark immediately rushed inside Leo's cabin. Inside the cabin, Leo is fuming. He didn't like Mark touching Ida. He doesn't like anyone touching for that matter. He knows Mark doesn't harbor ill intentions towards Ida, but that didn't make him feel any better. He is so possessive about Ida that he wants to lock her inside his room and never let anyone see her. But that's not possible, and she wouldn't like it. President Hamilton. Mark hurried inside. Leo is standing behind his desk facing the floor-to-ceiling glass window that overlooks the seacoast, which is close by. "Looks like you are more interested in your coworker than your work, Mark," he commented evenly. Mark is puzzled. He immediately did not understand what his boss is talking about. But it clicked a moment later. "Are you talking about Ida?" "It's nothing, President Hamilton. We were just joking," he told truthfully. Leo whirled around and glared at Mark, which made the assistant shiver with fear. Mark is not understanding what he did to upset his boss so much. "Ida," Leo called for Ida, knowing fully well that she would be standing right outside his door. Just like he thought, she walked in a second later. She took a subtle look at Mark, who turned pale before glancing at Leo. She stopped beside Mark, which irked Leo even more. "President Hamilton, do you need something?" she asked hesitantly. She already knew why he looks upset, but pretended to be ignorant. Leo lifted his chin and looked at her intently. "Come here," he commanded. Ida is tensed. She hesitated a moment, but when he raised a challenging eyebrow, she obeyed his command. Immediately, she walked closer to him. When she is in a touching distance, Leo pulled her closer by holding her by her wrist. She yelped with shock and her body collided with his. Mark is shocked to see this. He opened and closed his mouth like a fish, but no sound came out of his mouth. "What are you doing?" Ida cried out with alarm and looked at Mark as she started to panic. Leo turned her face towards him by pinching her chin gently. "Looks like you didn't understand what I told you last night," he said casually. Ida's eyes rounded comically wide with horror. "Don't." She hissed and looked at Mark through her peripheral vision. He ignored her and wrapped one of his arms around her waist possessively. Mark is so shocked that he couldn't even move a muscle. Looking at his boss being so possessive is new to him. He used to be the one who used to select women for his boss, but his boss was never this possessive towards any women in the past. Ida is the first, and by the looks of it, she might be the last. Belatedly, he understood why his boss is angry. "Like an idiot, I bear-hugged Ida and he saw it. Obviously, he would be angry," he understood with a wince. "Mark, meet Ida, my girlfriend and future Mrs. Leo Hamilton." Leo introduced Ida, much to her horror. Mark recovered from his shock. "Understand, boss," he replied. "Ida is panicked and upset with what Leo did, so she pushed him away with all her might. In the process, she hurt his already bruised ribs." He winced and took a sharp intake of breath to bear the pain. "Ah." Ida noticed his reaction, and she became worried. "Leo? What happened?" she asked worriedly. She did not miss the flash of discomfort on his face. Mark already knows that his boss's ribs are bruised. "President Hamilton," he rushed outside to bring the pain meds. "President Hamilton, what happened?" Ida asked worriedly after Mike left to bring the pain meds. Leo immediately composed himself as if it never happened and he was not in any pain. She looked at him with confusion. She saw his discomfort. But just a second later, his face is as composed as it never happened. She is not understanding if she imagined it or if she hurt him when she pushed him. Leo wrapped both of his hands around her waist and pulled her closer again. She didn't resist, and this time she rested her hands on his biceps. "What do you mean by what happened?" "I am fine," he assured her. But she is not convinced. She knows that he is not someone who would throw a tantrum if it's nothing. We can only get a reaction out of him if it is something. "Did I hurt you when I pushed you?" she asked with concern. He chuckled at her words. "No, you didn't hurt me. Don't worry about it," he reassured her. Before she could open her mouth, Mike walked in with a medicine box. He was rummaging through the box for medicines. Gently, she took a step back, creating some distance between them. "President Hamilton, your pain meds for your bruised ribs." He pulled out a strip and looked at the couple standing close to each other. His cheeks tinted pink, and he looked away shyly. Ida caught what Mike just said. "Bruised ribs?" she asked no one in general. Mike gathered that she did not know about it, and he looked at his boss with an apologetic face. When no one replied, Ida turned to face Leo with a concerned frown. "You bruised your ribs?" she asked him. Leo is quiet, neither confirming or rejecting anything. Ida's frown deepened. She remembered that he winced when she pushed him just now. That's when she gathered that because his ribs were bruised. When he is quiet, she looked at him with worry. When did this happen? As soon as those words left from her mouth, the accident from yesterday flashed in her mind. She put two and two together and realized that he must have bruised his ribs in the accident. She gasped with shock. She remembered that he carried her from those woods bearing this kind of pain. She knows how much the ribs hurt from simple movements like sitting, standing, and bending. But he carried her for more than half an hour, bearing this kind of pain. Tears pooled in her eyes when she understood how much pain he must be in. He even fought with Kevin to save her. Without a word, she pushed the lapels of his jacket aside and started unbuttoning his shirt. "Ida, I am fine." He caught her wrists to stop her from unbuttoning his shirt. She looked at his hands and then she lifted her chin and met his gaze. "I want to see," she said softly. Leo wanted to refuse. His ribs looked bad. He doesn't want her to see that. But when he saw her tear-stained eyes, he couldn't say no. So he let go of her wrists and allowed her to do what she wanted to. Mark is watching the whole thing with awe. His boss, who can intimidate anyone with a single glance, is now helpless in front of the woman whom he loves, and the said woman looks truly concerned about him. The love between the two is evident. I am glad that boss found someone as awesome as Ida, he thought. On the other hand, when Ida uncovered his torso and saw how badly his ribs were bruised, she gasped with shock. The skin turned black, blue, and yellow in places. A single tear fell from her lashes and slid down her cheeks. The fact that he had badly injured himself in that accident, but still he struggled to save her, ignoring his pain, is heart-touching. She remembered how he leaned across their seats to tug that seatbelt off. He had to sit in an uncomfortable position, which would have put a lot of pressure on his ribs and a hell of a lot of pain. Another tear slides down, followed by another. Ida. He cupped her cheeks and wiped her tears away with his thumbs. But her tears didn't stop. She couldn't tear her eyes away from his discolored and painful looks abdomen. "How did you mask this kind of pain? How did you even carry me for that long? And why are you not resting? Why did you insist that I should rest while it's you who should be resting? Why are you even working?" She bombarded him with questions, while her eyes still wouldn't stop tearing up. Leo sighed and pulled her into a hug, trying to comfort her. She melted in his arms while still crying with guilt that she hadn't noticed this before. "Baby doll, I am fine. It looks bad. Bad it doesn't hurt that much." He tried to make her feel better. The fact that she is crying for him is enough to forget about his pain. He is loving this caring side of her, but he doesn't want her to cry for anything. She pulled back gently and glared at him. "Don't lie to me, Mr. I know it's hurting you. Why didn't you take your medication?" she demanded. "Mark, medicine," she asked her coworker for help. Mark is already holding the pain meds in his hand. Promptly, he handed over the strip to Ida, who pinched a pill and handed it over to Leo with a glass of water. Leo accepted the pills, but he didn't take them immediately. "Ida, these medicines make my mind go hazy. I cannot concentrate in the meetings." He tried to explain why he didn't want to take the medication. But looking at his bruises, she just couldn't ignore them and pretend as if they were not there and he was not hurting. "Then don't attend the meetings. You are supposed to be resting anyway," she said firmly, clearly knowing that she was acting like his girlfriend. Once they start going on this path, there is no turning back. He saved her, and this is the least she can do for him. Leo raised his eyebrows with amusement. "Baby doll," he tried again, but she took the pill from his palm and pushed inside his mouth herself. She helped him drink some water to chase the pill away. "There, now it's not that hard, is it?" she said and turned to face Mark, who was now sporting a goofy grin. He tried, and a team of doctors tried to make Leo take those pills, but they all failed. But now Ida succeeded in a minute. "Mark, can you cancel all the meetings today and tomorrow as well? Let's see if we can reschedule them for next week. If anything is urgent, we can send those files to President Hamilton's home. He is going home now," she declared. Mark turned and left without consulting his boss. He already has an understanding that if Ida wants it to happen, it will happen anyway, and even their president won't be able to say no to her. Leo is still watching her with amusement. Who said I am going home? I have a lot of work to do. He started buttoning his shirt. Ida gave him a stern look. You have to allow your body to rest and recover. You are not a machine. Work can wait, but your health can't, she argued. He finished buttoning his shirt. No, he refused and sat in his chair and started answering his emails. The fact is, his ribs are hurting more than he thought they would. But still, he doesn't want to go home. It's because of Ida. He already started investigating about the accident. He found out that it was not anyone from his past. None of them knows about who he is. On the offhand, that attack might not be meant for him. What if it is meant for Ida? Just a day after her father found her, she met with an accident. Is it a coincidence? She cannot be left alone until I am sure that she will be safe, he thought. Ida started at him with helplessly. He is not a kid to force him, but he is acting like a kid. She noticed how he winced when sat down. He needs rest to recover, but how to make him go? She wondered. That's when an idea flashed in her mind. She took a deep breath for courage. Leo, she leaned closer to him, intentionally invading his personal space. Her heart is pounding, and she is nervous. He turned his head slightly. She is there, right in front of him. Her face inches away from his. You said you want my body, right? She whispered. Her palms were sweating, and she wanted to run. But she couldn't. He did so much for her, and most importantly, she started liking him more than she should like her boss. Leo gave her a curious look. He doesn't know where she is going with this, but wherever it is, he is sure he is going to love it. So he nodded his head. Her breath hitched and looked away shyly before meeting his gaze again. Then it's yours for as long as you need it. But you have to go and heal first, she whispered. A slow smirk graced his lips. I will go if you come with me and promise to stay with me until I heal, he bargained. She frowned and was about to straighten up, but he placed his palm around her neck and pulled her closer. It's your call, baby doll. I will go if you come, he whispered. His breath is fanning her face. Her breathing picked up and her heart was pounding. I have work to do. She is finding reasons to escape, but it's his turn to bargain. Like you said, work can wait, he whispered. He leaned in and planted feather-like kisses near the corners of her lips. Leo, someone might walk in, she whispered, and unintentionally leaned closer to him. He chuckled breathily. Let them. I am kissing my girlfriend. What's wrong with that? He replied, not at all bothered. Her heart skipped a beat at the title. I never agreed to that, she reminded him. He grinned and kissed her lips. You will be my fiancé soon. The moment your body becomes mine, you will become mine. No one else can touch you. The moment you become mine, I am sure I can easily convince you to marry me, he said confidently. She pulled back abruptly. Kevin's face flashed in her mind. You will be my wife soon. Kevin's words rang in her mind. She knows Leo is not like Kevin. But she burned once because of Kevin. She is not ready to go down that path with anyone now, at least not yet. You should go now, she reminded him and took a step back from him. He noticed the sudden change in her attitude. Like I. He started, but stopped abruptly and clutched his abdomen with a painful frown. Hiss. He is really in pain, but he never likes to show it. But he understood that she was not going to come. So he decided to play the pity card. Just like he thought, she rushed to his side. Leo, Claire was discharged from the hospital, and she is in a very bad mood. It's not because she lost the baby, it's because Kevin is ignoring her. She was discharged 24 hours ago. After he dropped her home, he didn't come back to visit her once. What's worse is that he is ignoring her calls as well. She is now living in a luxurious apartment that is one among the many Hamilton properties. This is what she feared the most. She knows that the baby is the only thing that would force Kevin to marry her. Now the baby is gone, and he no longer is obligated to marry her. So she decided to use a plan that she kept hidden as her backup plan. Kevin, you cannot escape from me, she thought with anger. She is not a fool. She knows that he is still fixated on Ida, and she hates Ida for that. What do you have that I don't? I am beautiful too. I might not have a job like you do, and I am not as educated as you. But so what? I can still carry myself properly among these rich people. What more does he want from me? He is jobless and is living off of his family fortune, and he is expecting his wife to be working and smart? She sneered in her head. Now she is waiting for him in the Hamilton mansion. A maid invited her in, and she went to inform Kevin about her arrival. A minute later, he sauntered down the stairs lazily. He is dressed in a three-piece suit, a white dress shirt, red slacks, and a red blazer. When he saw her, his face twisted into a frown. "Claire? What are you doing here?" he snapped at her. She glared at him. "What do you think I am doing here? You are not answering my calls and texts. What do you think I would do?" she countered. Kevin looked around and noticed that a few maids were watching them. If they start gossiping, and if his grandmother Grace finds out about this, he will be in trouble. So he roughly pulled her to his room where he didn't have to worry about eavesdropping maids. After he locked his room door, he whirled around to face her. "What is so important that you couldn't wait until I come back?" he snapped at her. She glared at him with a scorned look. "What is so important? I am going through a tough phase in my life now. We just lost our baby, and you are behaving as if you don't care," she accused him. He sneered at her motherly act. "Really, Claire? Are you kidding me? Now I think it's time that we both stop pretending to give a damn about the baby. You needed the baby to keep me tied to you, and that baby was stopping me from marrying Ida. I am sure that you must have already guessed that it's not you that I want. You want my money, and I had fun with you while I was waiting for Ida. I can give you money for pleasing me. You can go back to what you were doing before you seduced me, and I will go back to wooing Ida," he said seamlessly. Claire is shocked. She was not expecting him to come out and accept that he used her. Now that he opened up, she decided to stop pretending that she was in love with him. A slow smirk graced her lips. She wiped away the fake tears that she managed to shed to look pitiful. "Well, if you're ready to give me money, I think I can compromise too. But Kevin, marrying you would have given me status. You can give me money, but how will I get status? I imagined a luxurious life with you. Now you expect me to sacrifice all that?" "How, Kevin? How? Give me more than money, then I will quietly leave you alone. But if you don't, then I don't have any problem with going to the media and telling them about our affair and the baby. Think, Kevin. Think about how to satisfy my wishes," she threatened him. She opened her mobile and showed him the pictures which she captured when he was intimate with her. "I have proof. You will be ruined if this comes out," she said with a malicious grin. Kevin became pale when he saw the pictures. "Give me some time. I will get back to you," he asked her. Only his mother can solve this crisis. On the other hand, Leo is lying on his bed. Ida is with him, and she is worried. After they came to Leo's penthouse, which occupies the top floor of the Hamilton building, he broke into a fever because of pain and lack of rest. Ida immediately asked Mark to call for a doctor. When the doctor came and saw Leo's condition, he was not pleased. "He needs to rest at least for a couple of days. His ribs are badly bruised. This fever is the reaction of excessive stress, pain, and lack of rest. Make sure to give these pills every 4 hours for 2 days. They will fight pain and infection. Give him a lot of liquids. He will be fine," the doctor advised. That was 8 hours ago. Now the moon is sitting in the night sky. Because of the effects of the medicines, Leo is still sleeping, and his fever is yet to break. Ida prepared porridge for him and slowly fed him. It was difficult when he was so sleepy, but still, he managed to drink half of it. After that, she woke up twice to give him the prescribed medication. That's when his fever went down and she breathed a sigh of relief. The next morning, Ida woke up feeling warm and cozy. She is surrounded by warmth and she is floating on clouds. A smile pulled across her lips and she lazily stretched her body, at least she tried. But she couldn't move. Someone was holding her tightly to the point that she couldn't move. Her eyes snapped open and her eyes collided with a naked torso. She is lying sideways with her arms and legs wrapped around his body. She froze with shock. She doesn't remember how she ended up like this. But his even breathing told her that he was still sleeping. "I have to get away from here before he could wake up," she decided. Slowly she tried to untangle herself from his unrelenting hold without waking him up. "Trying to go somewhere, baby doll?" His amused voice made her freeze.
"Trying to go somewhere, baby doll?" Ida froze with shock. All of this feels like a déjà vu. Exactly a couple of weeks ago, she woke up just like this, surrounded by the warmth of the same man in unfamiliar surroundings. But at that time, he was a total stranger. But now he is her boss, the man who saved her life more than once, and most importantly, the man to whom she lost her virginity. He is her first in everything. He stole all of her firsts, and the man she cares about. She searched for a reason to escape from this situation, but his wandering hands kept distracting her. His hands are under her t-shirt, softly caressing her spine. His rough fingers are dancing on her spine, while his other hand is cupping her butt cheeks. She doesn't know how she did not notice that she was not wearing her work clothes anymore. Last night, she did not mean to fall asleep. She was still wearing her formal slacks and a shirt. But now, she is wearing one of his t-shirts. "You what, baby doll?" He prompted her with amusement ringing in his tone. She gasped when he squeezed her butt cheek. Just like usual, she melted in his arms. He has this effect on her. No matter how many doubts and reservations she had when he touched her, she would melt. And only he had that effect on her. Yesterday, when Mark casually wrapped his hand around her shoulder, her skin started to prickle with discomfort. She tried to suppress that very familiar feeling. But it did not work. That's when Leo came and she pushed Mark away. "What were you trying to go somewhere?" he whispered. He pulled her closer to him with impressive strength and nuzzled her neck. His breath tickled her skin. Goosebumps erupted on her body. He is asking her to speak, but he is not allowing her brain to work to form a coherent sentence. His wandering hands and now his skilled mouth are playing her body like an instrument. "Look what you do to me. You make me go crazy for you, baby doll," he whispered. He pulled her earlobe into his mouth and gently bit the flesh there. He trailed wet kisses from her earlobe to her lips before planting sweet feather-light kisses around her mouth. Just then, his mobile started ringing loudly, pulling her out from the fog of his seduction. "Damn it," he muttered. She took the opportunity of his distraction to her advantage and untangled herself from his hold and ran inside the bathroom before he could stop her. She could hear his amused chuckle following after her. Leo has half a mind to ignore the call and go after her. When he saw the caller ID, he couldn't ignore it. The call is from the person whom he hired to investigate the accident. Immediately, he answered the call. "Sean, did you find out anything else?" Leo asked the other person. Sean is a good friend of Leo from the past. They are not just good friends, they are best friends. Sean is the only person who is in contact with Leo after he left that life behind. Sean used to work in the FBI before, but once when he was chasing a kidnapper, he was shot near his leg and his kneecap was permanently damaged. He can walk, but he was deemed unfit to work in the FBI, so he retired early and opened his own private investigation company after that. "Man, that accident was meant for your assistant. She was the target," Sean revealed. Leo is shocked. "What? Ida? But why? Is it her father?" he inquired. Leo already knows that it's not Richard, but he has this feeling that Richard has something to do with this, at least indirectly. Sean is in his 40s. He retired from the FBI 6 years ago after serving for 12 years. He's experienced and he can guess certain things. Richard Wilson did not pay anyone to kill his daughter directly, but someone else did. Whoever it is, they found out about Ida through him. They hired our Frank. That idiot tried to kill Ida in the hospital, and then he was last seen outside her apartment building. But then, he disappeared. Looks like he found out that you are involved. Sean shared everything that he found out. Leo is quiet. He is taking in everything that he just learned. His past is trying to threaten his present. The question is, why and who? Ida is not the kind of person who would intentionally harm anyone. Even if anyone is having an issue with her, killing the person is extreme. That can only mean one thing. Whatever this is, it must have a story. Everything started with Richard Wilson. Dig that man's life and scrutinize every single piece. We might find the killer there. In the meantime, I will keep Ida closer to me. Leo recommended a plan. Sean agreed immediately. You are right. Everything started with Richard Wilson, so he will hold the answers to these questions too, he said thoughtfully. Leo is quiet, thinking about Ida. She would have lost her life in that accident. Whoever is trying to harm her, they will never forget the kind of punishment they will be receiving, he thought angrily. On the other hand, Sean is thinking about what his good friend Leo just said. You said you will keep your Ida close. "How are you planning to do that?" he asked with amusement. Leo told him about Ida and how she tried to keep her distance from him. Sean was amused, because it must have been the first time where Leo tried to impress a girl and she brushed him off gently. It was always the other way around. Leo smirked. "I have to press the fast-forward button and marry her first and then propose to her later. Then she will have no other choice but to live with her husband. That way I can keep her safe until we can solve all of this," he said. Sean is shocked into speechlessness.
"Mrs. Ida Hamilton." Mark drawled from behind Ida, who jumped up with fright. She looked around the reception area to confirm that no one heard him. "Mark, are you crazy? What if someone hears that? They will get the wrong ideas," she whispered, hissed. Mark looked at her as if she had suddenly grown horns on her head. "So let them hear. This is the truth anyway," he said, matter of fact. Ida sighed heavily. "Mark, it's not true. Leo is crazy. We are worlds apart. He is in a different league than me. It will never happen. Just forget that as if you never heard it," she told him firmly. Mark smirked and shook his head. "Ida, babe, I know our boss. He is not the type who would announce things like this offhandedly. Hell, he didn't say a word when you canceled all of his meetings without asking him. We couldn't make him agree to take his pain meds. But you did in a matter of a minute. He is not the type who would listen to just any woman. I never saw him being this sweet with any woman before. I agree, you both are worlds apart. But once he sets his eyes on something, then he will never let it slip past his fingers. So accept this and accept him. You will be happy," he advised her. Ida is quiet. What Mark said is true. She doesn't have any knowledge about the woman in his life, but she knows that he has never been named as a womanizer. Here, the production department asked for these details. "I am sure you came for them too." She changed the subject and handed the files over to him. He accepted the file and left her, respecting her decision to not speak about the topic anymore. After Mark left, she resumed her work and tried not to think about him. Leo had to go somewhere urgently, and he told her to stay in his apartment until he could return. But as soon as he left, she changed quickly and came to work. She knows that he will call her the moment he finds out that she is not home, so when her mobile rang, she assumed it was him. But when Haley's name popped on the screen, she smiled fondly. Before she could answer the call got disconnected. As soon as the call disconnected, she received a text message. Curiously, she checked the message. "Ida, I need your help. My car broke down and I couldn't find any cabs here. Please come and help me," the text read. Immediately, Ida abandoned her work and rushed to help her mentor. Haley is a very kind woman and helped her a lot. The least she could do is help the woman when she is in need. On the other warehouse, which is situated in the seedy area of the city, Claire is seen hiding behind a dumpster in an alley. 5 bulky and tall men ran towards the area where she was hiding. "Where is she? We saw her coming this way. Go and search for her in that direction." Those goons decided and ran the other way. After a few minutes, Ida parked her car near that alley, based on the location pin shared by Haley. She got out of her car and looked around with a frown. The street is empty and not a soul is seen. "Is this the correct location?" she wondered. "Haley?" she called out loudly. No one answered. She looked around the area while calling Claire's name. What she didn't see was that the goons who were searching for Claire were now silently following Ida. When Ida couldn't find Haley, she decided to call her. She was startled when she heard Haley's mobile ringing from inside the warehouse. Immediately, she rushed inside the warehouse to search for Haley. But what she saw inside the warehouse was not what she was expecting. There was no Haley, but a man was holding Haley's phone. As soon as he saw her, he smirked. "Welcome, Ida." "Welcome," he said with a cunning smile. Suddenly, Ida started feeling as if something was wrong here. She turned to run away, but belatedly realized that she was surrounded. She was even more shocked when she saw Claire standing among them. "Claire? What is all this?" she demanded. Without answering Ida, Claire dialed a number. When the other person answered the call, she greeted the person with respect. "My work here is done. I told them a plan and implemented it. She is here. I will be waiting for my payment," Claire said before disconnecting the call. Ida is confused and scared. She's getting a very bad feeling about all of this. "Claire? What have you done?" Where is Haley? Are you not happy with ruining my life? What more do you want? She demanded angrily. As she realized that this was a trap and she was in danger, she dialed Leo's number. Claire laughed mockingly. What more do I want? I want you gone. I destroyed your relationship with Kevin, but still, he is hung up on you. Now he wants to break up with me so that he can get back with you. I would have never let that happen anyway. But then another opportunity knocked on my doorsteps. They offered me huge money if I hand you over to them. Of course, I agreed. I know everything about you. I know you would definitely come to help Haley, so I used her mobile to trap you. They get what they want, and I will get rid of you permanently from my life. Now Kevin will be mine, and you will be dead. Goodbye, Ida. Claire revealed before leaving Ida with the goons. No. Ida cried out, but the man who was holding Haley's mobile earlier stabbed Ida with a needle. Ida struggled to escape in vain. She passed out a minute later.
Mom, I decided to get married, Leo announced. Grace gasped with surprise. What? Really? She asked with barely contained excitement. Leo chuckled at her childlike excitement. From the moment he took over the Hamilton group, all she ever asked from him was to get married. But he was not ready to settle down then. He did not find a woman who made her heart skip a beat. Women always flocked around him, but none made him feel possessive. Now, after meeting Ida, he is obsessed with her. He wanted to give up everything for her, and this is the first time he felt this way. Yeah, really, he confirmed. Grace clapped her hands and giggled with happiness. He came to visit his mother when he found out that she was down with a fever. She is in her late 60s and she is not getting any younger. Who is the lucky girl? Please tell me it's Ida. Even if it's not, I can adjust. She fired questions and even answered her own questions. She is that happy. Leo chuckled again. No need to adjust, Mom. You guessed it right. I want to marry Ida, he shared. Grace would have jumped up and down with joy if she could. But still, she tried to wiggle out of the bed. But she is weak, so she couldn't. Mom, you have to rest. I will bring Ida tomorrow. I know you like her. You can spend time with her, he promised. That's when his mobile started ringing. When he looked at the caller ID, he answered the call immediately. Ida, I am coming, he answered the phone, thinking that she was calling because she was bored. But when he heard a commotion from the other end, he tensed. What more do you want? He heard Ida's voice. Then he heard another female voice, but it was not clear. But he clearly heard fear in Ida's voice. Ida, where are you? He asked anxiously and ran out of his mother's room and out of the Hamilton mansion. He zoomed out of the driveway. He pulled out an app through which he could locate her exact location. No, he heard her anguished voice followed by rushed footsteps. Ida, I am coming, he cried out into the phone, hoping that she would hear him. He heard footsteps and then shuffling. After that, it's silence. The call is not disconnected, but there's only silence from her end. It's as if her phone slipped from her grasp. An ominous feeling settled in his heart. Ida. He punched the steering wheel and reached the area that showed her location within no time. But by the time he reached the warehouse, there was no one there. Her car is still parked outside, and he found her mobile lying there. But there is no sign of Ida anywhere. Ida, he screamed with anguish and pain and fell down to his knees. One day later, Ida was rudely woken up by a harsh slap to her cheek. Hey, wake up! Someone shook her roughly and pulled her to a sitting position by pulling her hair. Ida screamed with pain. Her bloodshot eyes blinked open and tears streamed down her cheeks. Come with me, her abuser instructed her. She recognized him instantly. He is the man who was holding Haley's mobile in that warehouse. She doesn't remember what happened after they kidnapped her. She woke up in this dark and dirty room last night. She cried and begged them to let her go, and this must be a mistake. But her cries were ignored. She fainted with exhaustion. Her kidnapper dragged her along by pulling her elbow. She stumbled a lot because of a lack of energy and was unable to keep up with his long strides. But he didn't care. He kept going. He dragged her up a flight of stairs. Her dark surroundings became bright as the sunlight streamed brightly around her. She understood that she was locked up in the basement. This place looks normal, with people milling around and going about their work. But none of them seemed to be bothered about the woman who was being dragged along by a burly man. None of them cared. They passed by 4 doors, and her kidnapped opened the 5th door. He pushed her forward roughly. She stumbled and fell down hard on the marble floor. This looked like some kind of warehouse partitioned into sections. "She is the one," her kidnapper told someone in the room. Ida slowly lifted her head and noticed that there were 4 men in the room. One man is sitting on a black leather couch that is placed in the middle of the room, while the other 3 are standing behind him. "She looks exactly like Sarah," the man in the middle said with awe. Everyone is quiet. Ida looked at the man in the middle with terror. He is in his early 50s and has a trimmed beard and mustache. There is a scar under his right eye. "Sir, why did you bring me here? I never saw any one of you. This must be a mistake. Please let me go," Ida pleaded with him. The man in the middle laughed loudly with mirth and stood up from the couch. He approached Ida and sat on his hunches in front of her. He roughly squeezed her cheeks and pulled her face up so that he could take a clear look at her face. "Oh, darling, this is not a mistake. I am Tony, by the way. Tony Sanders. You might not know about me, but your mother does. When my sister told me about you, I didn't believe her, but now I have to agree with her. You look exactly like your mother, more refined and much more beautiful than Sarah," he said with a cunning smirk. He leaned in and sniffed her face. Ida couldn't hold back her gag when the putrid stench from his mouth hit her nostrils. That seems to anger Tony. He slapped her hard across her cheek with anger. "No, please, let me go." Ida's screams are ignored. She was dragged to another room, where she was bathed by 2 females, and she was given a filthy see-through dress that didn't hide anything to wear. When she refused, she was slapped and punched for disobedience. She passed away from their torture.
Sean, I am sure, Leo confirmed. 8 hours ago. Sean is worried for Leo. After Ida was taken, Sean and Leo hacked the government security cameras near the streets. Hacking into the government servers is not as easy as it seems, but Leo used to be the best hacker and fighter in the world before he killed that part of himself and became the prim and proper Leo Hamilton, who is rich and cold and never trusts anyone. But for Ida, he had to bring that part of him back to life. After the security system was hacked, he slipped into the server and watched the footage of the area from where Ida was taken. To his shock, he recognized one of the men who kidnapped Ida, Joey. Sean filled Leo in about what and for whom Joey is working for. "He is working for Tony. After you disappeared, they searched for you. But just like you wanted, I made them believe that you are dead. After that, there was no stopping Tony. He took your place beside the boss. He earned a lot of money. His family already had money, but now he might easily be the most powerful man in the city. He will try to kill you if he finds out that you are alive. I don't know why they kidnapped Ida and how she got tangled up with them, but I suggest you to let me deal with this. I can talk to the boss. He still likes you. He will definitely help me to get Ida back safely," Sean suggested. Leo shook his head. "Something is going on behind Ida. If it's as simple as getting her out of Tony's house, then I would have agreed with your plan. But it's not as simple as it looks like. There is something much bigger than we initially thought it would be. How and why does a man like Tony get involved in Ida's life? If my guess is correct, until the moment Charles recognized Ida as Richard's daughter, her identity was hidden. But the moment it was revealed, someone was trying to kill her, and now Tony. We know through our sources that he didn't kill her, and is not intended to do it anytime soon. Now we have to find out who the person is who is trying to kill Ida, and why Tony got involved in the mix. So yes, I have to reveal that I am alive, Leo reasoned. Sean can understand why Leo wanted to come back to the limelight again, but it would risk the Hamilton empire and the Hamilton name, which he tried hard to protect after his brother's death. So, are you going to let them see your real face? Will it not risk your mother's life? What about your family name? I know how much you tried to protect the Hamilton name after what your brother did. Will you risk it all? Sean asked. Leo shook his head. No, his family name was built by his grandfather's hard work and good deeds. He has no right to destroy it all. It's not his to ruin in the first place. This respect belongs to his father and his father. No, the Black Star will come back to life again. They will never know Leo Hamilton is the Black Star. I have to find out why Ida is being targeted. And then solve that once and for all, he shared as the familiar buzz in his ears started ringing. The cheers of the crowd, the sound of flesh hitting flesh, and the sickening sound of bones breaking. He still loves boxing, the past that he tried to bury, but now he is willing to walk back there. Sean is worried about Leo. The Hamilton name is the restriction that stopped Leo from stepping back into the boxing ring again. Black Star has enemies, and he is unstoppable. He is ruthless and cold. He uses women as tissues, use and throw away. He was rich on his own right, and popular with the people who are on the other side of the law, and he earned popularity and enemies. If he goes back there, he will have to fight more than one Tony. He is intentionally putting his life at risk for the woman he loves. Are you sure about this? Sean asked again. Leo looked at Sean with determination. Sean, I am sure, he confirmed. In Tony's warehouse turned into his home and office. Tony, are you insane? I already told you that she has the great Leo Hamilton as her protector. He is the one who saved her from that accident. What if he comes searching for her? It's a risk that I am not willing to take. If he finds out that Sarah has a daughter, then we will lose everything. Kill her already. Tony's friend and mistress Selena Wilson snapped at him. Tony laughed at her anxiety. Relax, Selena. It doesn't matter who her protector is. Leo Hamilton might be rich and powerful on the other side of the law. He might hire cops or even FBI agents to search for her. But you know very well that no one dares to touch me as long as I have his protection. That poor man doesn't know that his granddaughter is alive. But it doesn't matter. He barely cares these days. And Leo Hamilton cannot come here and fight me himself. These people hire people like me to do their dirty work. They will never get their suits get dirty. He can hire anyone, but no one can touch me and save her from me, he assured her. Selena is not so sure about that. But what Tony said is correct. No one can touch Tony. No cop or any government official would dare to look at him in the wrong way. They all are puppets whose strings will be controlled by the big boss, Walter Giovanni. And he is the father of Selena and Sarah Giovanni. Selena is the daughter of his mistress, while Sarah is his legitimate daughter. She used to be the apple of his eyes. Walter Giovanni is sitting behind his desk. A cigar is hanging around his lips. He is glaring daggers at the man standing in front of him. Walter is the mafia boss of the Cyber City. He is in his late 60s, but no one can tell that he is that old just by looking at him. He is fit and toned. Apart from the gray locks that adorn his crown and the slight wrinkles around his mouth and the corner of his eyes, he looks like he is in his 40s. He can still fight a man double his size and win easily. I told you to ask Tony. Why the hell are you bothering me again? Walter snapped at the young man standing in front of him. Sid is young and is in his late 20s. He is loyal to Walter, unlike Tony, who only thinks about himself. He started working for Walter when he was just 17 years old. Walter trusts Sid, but he doesn't want to be bothered by things that are related to their businesses. In the past 20 years, Walter slowly started to give up his control of the outfit. He is still the boss and feared by everyone. All the work is now taken care of by Tony. Walter lost interest in everything after he lost his daughter. Nowadays, all he does is drink and then drink more. Boss, I think you should just ask him about the profits. Tony is keeping all the profits to himself and betraying you, Sid insisted. Walter shook his head with a bitter smile. Sid, why do I need more money? I don't have any family. To whom should I earn money for? I know he is betraying me, but I don't want to start a war with him. I know it will end up with me dead. I don't want that kind of death after the life I lived, so just ignore it, Walter told the young man with resignation. Just then, a guard rushed inside Walter's office in a hurry. He was in so much hurry that he stumbled twice and was about to fall once. Boss, he is back. That he is coming. The guard stuttered and pointed at someone behind him. He is so pale and trembling as if he has seen a ghost. Walter frowned. Leo's face flashed in his mind. No, he said he will not come back again, and I promised to keep his secret, but only he can evoke this kind of fear from the people around him. The Black Star, he thought to himself. Sid is also confused. He too knows about Black Star, even though he never saw the face of the man behind the mask. Sid used to be Black Star's assistant in the boxing ring, and he used to worship the Black Star, and he still does. The man was an enigma. Boss? Can it be our Black Star? He asked hopefully. Walter shook his head, and the guard looked shaken and scared out of his wit. Sid, we all know that our Black Star is dead. Don't plant ideas into your head, Walter scolded the young man gently. He turned to ask the guard who came, but before he could have the chance, 2 more guards ran inside. They were sweating and looked as scared as the first guard. One of them stumbled and fell down, forcing the man behind him to fall down as well. What is wrong with you people today? You are acting as if you have seen a ghost, Walter snapped with anger. That's when Leo walked inside, surprising Walter and Sid at once. Indeed, they saw my ghost. It's normal to be scared, Leo drawled lazily. He is wearing a black shirt and black pants paired with a black mask. Walter slowly stood up from his chair. He was not really expecting to see Leo. When the last time they spoke with each other, Leo confirmed that he wanted to kill the Black Star part of his life forever. Walter was disappointed but accepted Leo's decision. After all, Walter was Leo's mentor and the man who introduced Leo into the underground boxing ring. He knows the man behind the mask, and he loves Leo like a son. Black Star, Sid exclaimed with immense happiness. He never accepted that Black Star could die so easily, and he is so happy to see him back. Even though Sid is of the same age as Leo, the latter had to grow up faster than Sid, so he always treated Sid like a kid. He gave Sid a warm smile. Sid, I have some business with this old man. That's all Leo had to say. Everyone immediately scurried out of the room and closed the door after them. Until that moment, Walter did not say a word. He is left speechless. Leo occupied a chair opposite Walter's desk. The old man is still standing and doesn't take his eyes off Leo. Tony kidnapped my girl. I want her back. Leo doesn't like beating around the bush, so he came directly to the point. That seemed to give the answers to Walter's unasked questions. Slowly, he resumed his seat and immediately picked up his mobile and dialed Tony's number. All the while, he is watching Leo with keen interest. Boss, what a pleasant surprise! To what do I owe the pleasure of this call? Tony answered the call as if he is really pleased to get a call from his boss when he was anticipating a memorable night with his captive. Bring the girl whom you just kidnapped to my house. I want you to come here within half an hour, and don't touch her, Walter warned before disconnecting the call. Leo's anger is simmering just under his skin. This passive approach is not what he wanted to take. He wanted to rip Tony into shreds and kill him, but that does not solve his purpose. He wanted to learn about everyone who was involved in this with Tony and pick them one at a time and teach them a lesson that they would never forget in this lifetime. She must be special if she managed to melt that stone-cold heart of yours, Walter said casually. He can see Leo is angry. Even he is not as courageous to stroke an angry beast. But he is dying of curiosity to learn about this special girl of Leo. Leo is silent. He is rolling the paperweight on Walter's table, not at all in the mood to play this game with his mentor. Ida is barely conscious when the man named Joey drags her from the room in which she is bathed and dressed in a filthy outfit. It's a 3-piece dress. Lacy panties and a matching bra were accompanied by a see-through cape of some kind. Thankfully, a robe was given to her so that she could cover herself, partially. But nothing about what is about to happen to her is normal. She was about to be raped by a man who is double her age. Her cheeks were red and swollen, and she could barely recognize herself in the mirror. Her stomach is now black and blowy because of the blows and kicks she received for her disobedience. She was still unconscious when their Joey guy came and roughly pulled her out of the room, and she was sure about where he was taking her. Her mouth is dry and her eyes are red and puffy because of crying. Her vision is blurry and her head is splitting with pain. Pete, please don't do this. She could barely get those words out, but they were ignored, just like all of her pleas. Joey pulled open another door and roughly pushed her onto a bed. Have fun, boss, he told someone who was already in the room. Ida bounced a couple of times before she struggled to sit up. That's when she saw Tony, who was unbuttoning his shirt. Sarah, you don't know how many times I imagined this. You and me in one room. But you only had your eyes fixed on that asshole Richard. Your sister Celine tried her best to gain his attention, but you both only ever looked at each other as if no one else existed. Tony spoke as he was speaking to Sarah and not her daughter. Please, let me go. I am not Sarah, Ida begged weakly. But he only laughed as if he was enjoying her misery. Before he could touch her, Joey knocked on the door again. What the hell, Joey? What is so important that it couldn't wait till morning? Tony snapped, but still opened the door. You got a call from the big boss, Joey said with a slightly panicked look. Both the men walked out of the room. Ida took this opportunity to run away. But before she could touch the door, Tony opened the door from outside. He looked angry about something, and a bit scared too. Take her. We are going to see the boss, Tony announced. Tony is scary, and the fact that someone else is scaring him and now she has been taken to that man is scaring Ida too much. But her fear and plea were left unheard. She was pushed into the backseat of a car and the vehicle immediately zoomed out of the warehouse. On the other hand, Tony is scared out of his mind. How did the old man find out about Ida? Did he know that she was his granddaughter? Is that why he demanded that I bring her to him? Is he planning to kill me? Tony is scared. No one but him and Celine knows about who Ida is. He is worried about how his boss got to know about Ida. No, I cannot take her to Walter's house. I am sure he will kill me. What if I switch her with another woman, he thought. Joey, take a right turn here. Let's switch her with another girl, he instructed. But Joey shook his head. Can't do that, boss. A black car had been tailing us from the moment we started near the warehouse. This car doesn't look familiar, but we know this is the technique of our boss. He is making sure that we deliver what he wants us to deliver. We cannot go anywhere but to Giovanni's mansion, Joey pointed out. Tony's ears are ringing now. He is scared. He is stuck. He will kill me today? I am sure about it, but how can I avoid this? With his men tagging behind us, it's impossible not to go. How did he even find out about her? But that's not important now. I have to escape, because I cannot hide Ida. But I can escape from him. I saw how cruel he is when he gets angry. He lacks mercy. Tony is scared. Joey stopped the car when the signal turned red. Tony took that opportunity and immediately got out of the car. Joey looked at him with confusion. Drop her there and meet me in the warehouse. With that, Tony escaped before the men in the black SUV could come after him. Sean was sitting in the black SUV that was tailing Tony's car. He watched Tony get out of the car and hurriedly left. Immediately, he texted about the situation to Leo. Leo, who was waiting for Tony to bring Ida, saw the text. Send one of your men to follow after him. Watch where he is going. Make sure Ida is safe. That's your main priority. He replied back. A deep brown was etched on Leo's face, which Walter noticed. Any problem? He inquired cautiously. Leo gave the old man a calculating look. Does anyone in this mansion work for Tony? He asked. Now it's Walter's turn to frown. I don't know. Maybe. I stopped paying attention to the details after you disappeared. I no longer want to control others. I am simply surviving under this mask I wore years ago, he replied honestly. Leo sighed and rubbed his temples. Looks like someone informed Tony about my arrival. He decided to only send my girl with his henchmen. He is not coming here. I want to talk to him, Walter. I want to know why he took my girl, Leo demanded. Walter nodded and tried calling Tony, but all of his calls were left unattended. This infuriated the old man. He is not attending my calls. Looks like he has a death wish, Walter seethed. Leo gritted his teeth with anger. What are you hiding, Tony? What are you worried about? He thought with anger. Ida slowly sat up in the car, which was currently transporting her to another location. One of them abruptly left, leaving her with Joey, the man who kidnapped her in the first place. She looked outside the windows, trying to see where she was. It was dark. She couldn't see much of anything. She couldn't recognize the location immediately, but when her eyes landed on one of the signboards, she gasped with shock. She is in Newark, the same city where she and Leo met with an accident a few days ago. She had no idea how they transported her here without being noticed or suspected by border security. She tried to open the car door, but it was locked. Please, let me go. What have I ever done to you guys? Ida pleaded with Joey. Joey glanced at her through the rear view mirror before focusing back on the road ahead. They almost reached. Stop whining. My boss Tony would have at least kept you alive for a few days, but the big boss is not so generous. I am taking you there to him. It will be a wonder if you survive the night. he said with cruel satisfaction. His words made Ida shudder with fear. She tried to break the window with her fists and tried to open the door again and again, all in vain. Soon, they entered through a huge iron gate. Guards in black were stationed outside. One of them nodded at Joey, while Ida tried to escape from the car. As the iron gates closed shut, her fear skyrocketed, and she started attacking Joey like a woman possessed. She is scared out of her mind, and Joey's words make her even more scared. Joey pushed her away roughly and stopped the car abruptly in the middle of the driveway. Ida tried to attack him again, but just then 2 strong hands grabbed her from the side and pulled her out of the car. The woodsy scent of the cologne that usually surrounds her when she is with Leo assaulted her. That only made her struggle even more. The image of Leo made her cry with pain and struggle even harder. She wondered if he was worried about her. "Baby doll," those familiar words made her go slack in his arms. She turned her head to see the man who was currently carrying her inside a huge mansion. His touch felt familiar. His face is covered with a mask, but she recognized those lips and that chin. She was kissed by those lips way too many times to count. Leo. The thought of him made her completely relax, and she gave up fighting or trying to escape. She knows that now he is here. He will protect her, and he will take care of the rest. She kept looking at his masked face with too many emotions. The moment the car stopped, Leo opened the door and pulled Ida out of the car. He tried hard to make her stop from struggling so much, but she is fighting like a wild cat. Her usual milder and softer nature turned aggressive and defensive, and rightfully so. But the moment she heard his voice, she became obedient and allowed him to carry her away from all those prying eyes. He, on the other hand, is trying hard not to look at her face. Her face is swollen. He is going to enjoy breaking some bones today. He will punish everyone who did this to her, starting with Joey and ending with Tony. He entered a familiar, yet foreign room on the top floor of the mansion. This is where he used to stay after he ran away from home when he was 16. That's another story for another day. He carried her inside the bathroom to check the extent of her injuries. Gently, he slid her down to her feet and removed his mask. "Leo," she whispered, and threw herself into his arms and sobbed with fear and confusion. He hugged her tightly, promising himself that this would be the last time she suffered so much and that he would protect her from everyone henceforth. He was not expecting her to get kidnapped. "You are safe now. I am here," he whispered softly, assuring her that she was out of danger. After a few minutes, she stopped crying but refused to let him go. He can understand how scared she was and what she must have gone through. She said nothing, simply clung to him with all her might. He likes nothing more than to hold her like this forever. But he has to see her injuries. He has to make sure that she doesn't need medical attention. "Baby doll, I'm going to check your injuries, okay?" he informed her. Gently, he pulled away from her. When he saw fear in her eyes, it almost undid him. "You are safe now. You trust me, right? I promise you, nothing will happen to you. I will not let anyone touch you again. Okay?" he reassured her. She nodded once, without speaking anything. He removed her robe and cursed when he saw what she was wearing underneath. He is just hoping for Tony's sake that he didn't touch her like that. His love for her will not change by this, but he doesn't want to imagine the pain she must have been in, both physically and emotionally. He can see the bruises on her stomach. Her hands and legs don't have any bruises, but her elbow has fingerprints on it. They are the result of rough handling. "Baby doll, you know I love you, right?" He wanted her to know that nothing changed for him, but he wanted to know if they touched her. Her eyes welled with tears again, and she nodded silently. Did they? He couldn't put it into words, so he stopped. But she understood what he was asking, and she shook her head. He left the breath he was holding. "I wanted to know whom I have to kill first for hurting you," he confessed. His words made her cry again. He hugged her and whispered soothing words in her ear. He knows what he is going to do. It's not Black Star who is going to hurt these people. It will be Leo Hamilton, the man whose lover they dared to hurt. Walter saw how Leo carried his girl away. The love he has for her is visible through every action. He cannot believe that this is the same teenager whom he found in one of his underground rings a decade ago. He was so aggressive and angry with the world. He did not share who he was and where he came from until after a few years had passed. That teenager grew up into the man he is now. Walter used to have a tough time when women tried to flock around Leo after a fight. But Leo wouldn't even be bothered to take a look at them. He used to only touch a girl when he was drunk. He used to use them as an outlet for his anger. But that kid bloomed into a responsible adult and started seeing the world the way he should. Boss, who is that girl? And what did she do to our black star? Am I dreaming, or is he really carrying a woman in his arms? I never saw this side of him, and I have known him for over 6 years. He hates to display affection for anyone. I am curious now. Sid gossips from beside Walter, who is still looking in the direction where Leo disappeared with Ida. Ida's face is red, swollen, and bruised. She is so sensitive that she bruises easily. But the way she was tormented, she was left with more than just surface wounds. So Walter couldn't look at how beautiful she actually was. That's what I am wondering. If he loves this girl this much, that means he's pissed at Tony for kidnapping her. We know his rage. We saw it one too many times. I pity Tony. He doesn't know what he's going to get, Walter said with a shudder. Leo's rage only ends with a bloodbath, and his opponent has little to no chance of survival, if so ever. Then I think we better start searching for someone else to replace Tony, Sid said thoughtfully. What is this? Let me go. Joey is struggling while Walter's men are dragging him away from the driveway. Walter and Sid quietly watched the scene unfold, knowing fully well that Joey would not last the night. Boss, what is this? Please let me go. Now it's Joey's turn to beg, just like Ida did. Leo came to save her, but no one will save Joey, not even the man who ordered him to kidnap Ida in the first place. You messed with the wrong guy, Joey. May your soul rest in peace. With that, Walter walked away, leaving Joey in a state of shock and fear. Sid ran after Walter. He is buzzing with anticipation to see the Black Star in action again. On the other hand, Tony is hiding in his warehouse. He knows that it's not the safest place, but he doesn't have anywhere to go. He has to regroup and think about what he is going to do now. But first, he has to find out how Walter found out about Ida. Is it Celine? Only we both know about Ida's existence apart from her husband Richard and Charles. Neither Richard nor Charles dares to approach Walter and reveal the truth about how Richard impregnated Sarah before marriage. Walter would kill them both for touching his precious daughter. That leaves Celine. It must be her. He seethed with anger, thinking that she betrayed him. Immediately, he pulled out his mobile and dialed her number. She answered on the 4th ring. Tony? I thought you would be busy with Sarah's replacement. You are done so fast. When did you start? Now don't tell me that you killed her so soon, Celine joked. Her voice sounded groggy as if she was woken up by his call. Tony is not in the mood to be jovial, so he came directly to the point. You trapped me, didn't you? You told Walter about Ida and you planned to get me killed, didn't you? He accused her. Celine is stunned by his accusation. What the hell, Tony? What crawled up your ass? Have you finally lost your mind over Sarah? You know how much and why I want Ida dead. My dad's properties are still under Sarah's name. By default, they all belong to Ida now. I am still trying to persuade him to change the documents. If he finds out about Ida's existence, he will accept her into the family with open arms, and we will be left with nothing but the clothes on our back. You know, Richard doesn't come from a rich background. Everything he owns today is given by my father. He looks after the legal side of my father's business. I only wanted to destroy Sarah's happiness. That's the only reason I married that useless man. Ida is the heir to the Giovanni fortune. I want her dead more than anyone else in the world. Why will I go and destroy my life like a fool? Now stop whining and tell me what happened. She snapped with annoyance. Tony is frowning now. She is right. If Walter finds out about Ida, Celine and her daughter will lose everything. I am sorry, Celine. I was just angry about what happened. I didn't think before accusing you. He apologized and told her everything that happened. Celine is shocked to hear this. What? My father asked you to bring her. But why? I don't think he found out about her. If he did, then I would have gotten a call from him by now. Something else is going on there. You stay where you are and let me find out what happened. I will visit my dad tomorrow. I cannot just drop in the middle of the night. You calm down and let me deal with this. she assured him and disconnected the call. After her call with Tony, Celine is upset. What is happening in the Giovanni mansion? Why did my father ask Tony for Ida? This does not make any sense. Based on the pictures of Ida that Tony sent me this evening, it's not easy to recognize her. Her face is swollen and bruised, so even if he saw her today, he wouldn't have recognized her. But the question is, how did he even know about her existence? She wondered with an angry frown. She walked out of her room and knocked on her daughter's door. "Clovia, are you awake?" Celine asked through the door. Celine is in her early 50s. She is still beautiful with her slim figure and well-maintained face. She looks a little similar to her stepsister Sarah. At first glance, it's easy to think that she is Sarah, but they both couldn't be more different. Celine always wanted to snatch everything from Sarah, and she did. Clovia, Celine's daughter, opened her door. Clovia inherited her father's features more than her mother's. She looks beautiful. What she lacks in her looks, she compensates with her choice of clothing. She doesn't shy away from wearing small and revealing clothes that would display her double Ds. She is 22, a year younger than Ida. "Mom, it's midnight and you still thought it would be okay to disturb me now? What is so important is that it can't wait till morning?" she asked impatiently. Celine pushed her daughter aside and entered the room before closing the door. She doesn't want her husband Richard to overhear their conversation. Clovia raised an eyebrow and looked at her mom expectantly. "It's about your father's first daughter. She is in the Giovanni mansion now," Celine revealed. Clovia is shocked. She knows about Ida's existence and what would happen if her identity was revealed. "What? You said Tony is going to kill her. How did she end up there?" She seethed. Celine is pacing the room with anxiety. "I don't know. I want you to go there first thing in the morning tomorrow and find out what is going on there," she instructed Clovia. In the Giovanni mansion, Leo tended to Ida's wounds. She has yet to speak a single word to anyone. Apart from occasionally whispering his name in her sleep, she didn't say anything. She is deeply disturbed and scared by the events of the last 24 hours. He fed her some food, and she only ate a little. She is clinging to Leo and refuses to let him go. The next morning, Ida is harshly woken up by a dream. In her dream, she is being dragged back to Tony's room again, and this time he is violating her body. "No," she gasped and sat up with a start. She is sweating and is shaking badly. When her gaze landed on her unfamiliar surroundings, her panic intensified, and she scurried out of bed and ran halfway to the door when Leo's voice made her pause and turn back. "Baby doll." Leo is confused. 1 second she was sleeping peacefully beside him, and the next second she was trying to run away from him, as if she was in a trance. Immediately, he rushed towards her and stopped a few feet away. He made sure not to make any sudden movements. "Hey, what happened?" he asked softly. She looked at him and at her surroundings before a sigh of relief left her lips. She lifted her hand and pointed at something behind her as tears welled up in her eyes. She couldn't speak anything as her lean frame rocked with her sobs. He erased the distance between them and hugged her then, and to his surprise she hugged him back. "I am scared," she whispered hoarsely. His heart ached with pain. He wanted to kill Tony. Joey is already dead. He turned out to be useless. All he said was that he was asked to kidnap Ida by her boss, and he did. He also said that her boss knows Ida's mother and was planning to keep Ida as his mistress. That made Leo so furious, he almost killed Joey. He left him there to die. "I know. I am here now. You are not alone. No one will touch you again," he promised again. She relaxed in his arms. His touch and his scent are making her feel safe. Clovia entered the mansion like a princess. She was always treated like one. She threw her handbag aside, and a maid immediately picked it up and kept it on the tea table. "Where is grandfather?" she asked the maid while sauntering deeper inside the mansion. "He is in the dining hall, miss," she replied while keeping her eyes down. Clovia walked towards the dining area but stopped dead in her tracks when she saw Leo wearing his black star mask and all-black leather outfit. "Black Star?" she whispered with surprise. She was 17 when she last saw him. She always had a crush on him growing up. His aloof attitude and the way he throws a punch in the boxing ring used to make her swoon. She used to follow him everywhere. No matter how much she tried, he always used to ignore her. When she was told that he was no more, her heart was broken. Now she is more than happy to see him again. Leo gave Clovia a passing glance and bypassed her to the dining area. She is arrogant and spoiled. He hates women like her. And he also hates the fact that she keeps thinking that he should worship the land she walks on, she can dream on. Black, wait, her voice rang loudly. Everyone in and around the vicinity heard her voice, but no one was shocked when Leo ignored her. He gave a nod to Walter and took his seat beside Sam. He fed Ida just now and gave her some pain meds for the pain. She is now peacefully sleeping from the effects of the medicines. Clovia is offended when he doesn't respond. Black, you still don't like me? Open your eyes and look at me properly. Am I not to your liking? She demanded arrogantly. Leo gave her an annoyed look. Clovia, I told you in the past, and I am telling you again now, don't bother me. Leo snapped. Clovia flinched and meekly settled beside Sid, who was trying to hold back his smile. She would never dare to go against Black's words. She is scared of angering him. But still, she couldn't stop herself from daydreaming about him. Ida woke up in an empty room. A loud knock on her door woke her up. When she didn't find Leo anywhere, she started to panic. She is scared to stay alone, but she is also scared to go out of the safety of the room. She doesn't know whose house this is, and she does not feel safe with anyone but Leo. Claire's betrayal played a big role in making her so skittish and scared of her own shadow. There was a time when she used to trust Claire a lot, but now she doesn't trust anyone but Leo. The knock sounded again. She jumped with fright. Before she could decide what to do, the door opened from outside, and a woman who looked like she was Ida's age walked in as if she owned the place. When she saw Ida sitting on the bed, she sneered. Who are you? And what are you doing in Black's room? She snapped at Ida. Clovia wanted to surprise Black. When was the last time they met? She was just a teenager. She mostly looked like a skinny kid, but now she is a woman with a seductive body to please him. She came to show him that she could please him, but she already found another woman on his bed. Ida frowned, not understanding why the woman was mad. She doesn't know who this Black is either, but she didn't like the rude tone this woman was using. She sounded just like Claire when she was mad, nasty and outright rude. Ida doesn't want to speak with anyone in this city. From the moment she landed in this city, all she got was bad to the worst experiences of her life. You must be in the wrong room. I don't know if any guy named Black stays here, she replied monotonously and expected the rude woman to leave. She doesn't have enough energy to deal with her now. All she wants is to go back home and leave this nightmare as soon as possible. Clovia is furious. She couldn't believe that a whore hired by Black dared to talk back to her. She is the princess of this mansion and nobody speaks back at her, not even her grandfather. Guards, she yelled with anger, scaring Ida. Immediately a couple of guards rushed inside the room. Ida immediately covered back into the headboard and covered herself with the comforter when she looked at the two bulky men. She is terrified, thinking that they might hurt her like the other guys who kidnapped her. Yes, Miss Walter, how can we help you? One of them asked Clovia, keeping his eyes away from Ida. Everyone knows how special she is to the infamous Black Star. None of them wanted to offend him. Clovia glared at Ida, who was under the comforter now. Throw this trash out of this room. What is she still doing here after Black is done with her last night? Throw her out, Clovia commanded. But neither of them moved a muscle, which infuriated Clovia more. What? Throw her out! She yelled with frustration when they didn't follow her orders immediately. Both the men looked at each other with fear. They ignored Clovia. They can see this is going to end badly for Clovia, so they decided to escape before Black could come and punish them for entering his room. But before anyone could move a muscle, Leo strode inside with anger. Clovia's irritating voice can be heard in the entire mansion. What the hell is going on here? He demanded. Both the guards jumped out of his way. We didn't do anything. It's Miss Clovia, they explained hurriedly. Clovia glared at them with irritation. Black, I was trying to help you. Your whore is still. She tried to explain, but he cut her off midway. He glared at her with fury. She is mine. She belongs to me. How dare you call her a whore? He asked with a low but deadly voice. Clovia became pale. She was not expecting this. His possessiveness is seeping through his voice, and she was shocked to hear that. She opened and closed her mouth like a fish, but nothing came out. She is mine. His words, and the way he said that, she became jealous. She tried to get his attention for years, but she failed. Now he returned after 5 years with a woman. Clovia got everything she ever wanted and more in her life. He is the only person she craved desperately, and the only thing that is out of her reach. Wordlessly, she left the room, taking one final look at the woman who was now hugging him. "I want to go home, Leo. I don't want to stay here," she whispered. He sighed and hugged her tightly. "I know, baby doll. I went to make arrangements. Let's get out of here," he said, and led her out of the mansion. Walter was sad to see him leave, but he knew that he would be seeing him again soon. Tony's issue is still on standby, and Sean will be staying here to get every detail he can get on Tony. In the capital city, Mark is worried sick for Ida. She was there near her desk for 1 minute, and she disappeared in the next second. He tried to call her more times than he could count, but to no avail. He even went to meet her in her apartment, but it was locked. He knows his boss might be aware of this, but he couldn't stop worrying. Just then, his mobile rang and he answered the call immediately when he saw the caller ID. "Good evening, President Hamilton," he greeted. "I need you to hire someone and move Ida's belongings to my villa near the outskirts of the capital city. Don't touch her clothes. Hire a female to pack them," he instructed before disconnecting the call. Mark did not waste any time. He is happy that Ida is safe and she might be with his boss. Ida looked at the villa that looked poised and well decorated. All the pastel shades were used to make it look welcoming and colorful. She came here once with Haley. How is Haley? She remembered that it was Haley's mobile that lured her to that warehouse. Leo squeezed her shoulders, assuring her that she was fine. She is fine. She is with Matthew now. She lost her mobile somehow, or someone stole her mobile intentionally. He shared what he found out after she was kidnapped. Ida nodded, understanding that it must have been Claire who stole it. Leo doesn't know how he should feel now. She did not protest when he brought her to his villa instead of her apartment. He would have been elated if she didn't look so lost and scared. She is so scared that she keeps moving closer to him when someone comes closer to her. She seems to be scared of everyone but him. "Come? We will have dinner and then retire to our room," he suggested. She nodded quietly. Another thing that is worrying him is that she is speaking very less. After dinner, she showered, which she did more than twice today. Her skin turned red because of the steaming hot water, but the swelling on her face has gone down and she looks more like herself now. "You know you are safe now, right?" he asked her. He wanted her to speak to him. Her silence is bothering him. She nodded. Again, he sighed and moved closer to her on the bed. "Then what is bothering you? I know what you have gone through is not something that you could forget easily, but if you show them your fear, they will scare you more. You are a brave girl. It's not easy to survive in the foster system. You must have had so many challenges, but you overcame all of that and became the person that you are now. Where is that girl now? And why is she scared of her own shadow?" He spoke softly. "Fear is your worst enemy. It could bring you down before anyone else could. Ida's life has so many secrets that she cannot face if she is like this." His words and the way he spoke them made her turn her head and look at him. Her life in the foster system flashed in her mind. The struggle for basic necessities and how she had to protect herself from other kids. The sleepless nights and her hard work to reach where she is now are all playing in her mind. Claire's face and her betrayal are making her feel angry. She no longer held the same affection she once held for her ex-best friend. "Claire helped these people to kidnap me. Those women touched me everywhere while they were bathing me forcefully. Joey watched while they were undressing me. I tried to escape, but they beat me badly. Tony wanted to make me his mistress. I still feel them touching me sometimes. It's making my skin feel itchy," she explained. His jaw tightened with suppressed anger. She had to go through so much. He gently kissed her forehead. "I will kill every one of them. Joey is already dead. Next, it's Claire's turn. Each person who touched you or made you feel threatened will be punished. I promise you that. Tony is hiding somewhere, but not for long. I will find him and kill him. I cannot see you so scared and vulnerable, he promised fiercely, showing her what he was feeling. That made her heart skip a beat, stomached her as butterflies took flight. He saved her time and again. He is sweet and fiercely protective. Thank you for saving me, she whispered with emotions swirling in her eyes. He pulled her into his arms and hugged her tightly. She melted into him. In Newark, Clovia is furious. Mom, how can he pick that woman over me? She doesn't even look that good. What does he even see in her? She fumed. Celine is watching how disturbed her daughter is. It's not a secret that Clovia had feelings for Black for a long time, but that's not what is bothering her now. It's Ida. Clovia, did you find out anything about Ida? Did your grandfather say anything about her to you? Is it true? Does she look more beautiful than Sarah? She and Clovia glared at her mother. Of course, she went to the mansion for Ida, but instead she found Black. Mom, don't you feel anger on my behalf? He picked someone else over me. You know how much I love him. But still he picked her, she exclaimed angrily. Celine shook her head with annoyance. Clovia, he is back now. If his girlfriend is really that ugly, then it will be easy to make her leave him. We have time for that. Tell me about Ida, she insisted. Ida was not there. I personally searched every room. No one is even speaking about her. They are only whispering about Black and his ugly girlfriend. I think Tony is lying. Grandfather doesn't know anything about Ida. She shared what she found out. Celine is confused. What the hell? But Tony said that she is with your grandfather. Did he shift her somewhere else? If he found out about her, then why is he not telling us? I don't understand what is going on there, she muttered with annoyance and confusion.